Welcome to Session 1 of Small Business Marketing with Dr. Daryl Green and Dr. Jack McCann. This is our first session discussing small business marketing book that we have written together. And we're going to talk about our first chapter, Small Business and Entrepreneur Challenges. So we're the co-authors, and I want Dr. Green to tell you a little bit about him.
Well, Dr. Jack, thank you for allowing me to be a partner with you. We're going to have a wonderful time. I am originally from Shreveport, Louisiana. Got my undergraduate degree in mechanical engineering from Southern University in Baton Rouge. Met my lovely wife, Estrelita, there. Moved to Washington State, worked for the Department of Energy. Spent 27 years there dealing with nuclear, non-nuclear projects. And got a chance to spent 15 years looking at academics. And I decided, age 50, I said, I need to do something else. And so I decided to retire early at 50 years old, which is just young. And I decided to accept a job at Oklahoma Baptist University with my wife with me. And I currently teach marketing, business, leadership, graduate, undergraduates. And my big thing that we do is help communities. We've been helping local businesses, myself, Dr. Jack, when we was in Tennessee, working with local communities, helping businesses, having our MBA students donate over 2,000 consulting hours dealing with marketing and management. So I am happy. So we have some examples. We have what we call hard knocks. So we have the academic stuff, but we have the hard knocks of learning how to fix problems that businesses have.
Wonderful, thank you. And and I also want to thank you for having the opportunity to work with you on this book. Taking from your experience and my experiences. I worked in the apparel industry for 20 years, and then I chose to look at academia as a second career. And so I've got a lot of experience in business management and marketing and working in academia these last 15 years. I work for Union College in Barberville, Kentucky, where I teach also marketing and some management courses. And I also, work with students who have projects that are working with businesses and doing some consulting with some of those local businesses. So we're going to try to share our experiences, and we've tried to share it through our small business marketing book. And this is another venue we feel like is a value added, to our book that's available that we'll discuss as we go forward with these sessions. But this first session is really focused on entrepreneurial challenges, and so we'll introduce the book, talk about it first, and then we'll see we'll talk about what it can do for the student, the entrepreneur, and business person. So Dr. Green, if you want to give a brief intro to the textbook, tell us a little bit about what's available for those who might be interested.
Yes, it's small business marketing, and one of the things that I think it captures that is Dr. Jack and myself is this whole thing of taking abstract concepts and putting it in practical application. That's really how the small business marketing is set up, because we deal with a lot of small businesses that don't know anything about Porter's Five Forces, a SWOT, the competitive analysis, and so we try to break those down, and also students. So here's the thing that we do in a lot of our classes is we team the students up with a business partner so they can actually learn and practice that. We've done it at the graduate level, and we're doing it at the undergraduate level in terms of micro internships. So that is really one of the things that we cover. So we do the basics. We get into the trends, looking at digital marketing. We kind of focus on that in one of the chapters. And something that most books don't really spend a lot of time on is competitors. So we look at the competitors and we try to come up with a plan, a strategy that we lay down in our chapter 7. We lay down the steps that you can be successful. So it's a proven method. We've seen organizations be successful, and we've seen students grow in their proficiency and their work experience, and we've seen businesses achieve success. So I'm really happy about bringing this out to a broader base of individuals and just sharing some real practical tips and secrets to help small businesses be successful during these very, very, very difficult times that we live in, Dr. Jack.
Very good. I'm going to borrow a little bit from the book and tell you what small business marketing does and can do for you. It provides a roadmap for small business owners. In it, we're going to focus in this book and in our conversations about market opportunities in a systematic way. We're not going to waste your time with fluff and meaningless academic learning. What we're sharing with you is going to matter. Topics are included here are marketing strategies and competition, new product deployment, and the marketing mix. Product, price, place, promotion, critical keys that we always reinforce, niche markets and segmentation, and market evaluation. So there's some of the things that we talk about in our textbook and the things that we're going to talk about in these conversations about small business marketing. So we've looked at a little bit about what this book can do for others. We believe that understanding business challenges today is something that the book can do for us. And we also discuss marketing plan and planning for small business and applying strategies. And as you mentioned, digital marketing and evaluating analytics for brick and mortar. Dr. Green, can you tell us a little bit about the characteristics of a small business and who we're trying to focus on in this book?
Yes, so that's a great question. I think you're going to be going with the definitions, but I'm just going to give you. A lot of times, small businesses or mom and pop shops do not have the resources. I think one of the studies that we were looking at, Dr. Jack, says in 2018 there were about 30 million small businesses in operation, and we know that they face a certain challenges. First of all, they lack resources.
Yes.
And I think and a lot of times they lack the experience. I want to, maybe they got laid off. And right now with dealing with COVID-19 and over 20 million people unemployed, filing for unemployment, we're in bad situations. And so some people are forced, especially as you look at, Dr. Jack, you probably have a lot of more expertise in this, but if you look at the tourism business industry, the retail industry, and the restaurant industry, they're hurting. And so a lot of these people are not because they just want to start a business. It's just they're doing it out of necessity. And so I think that is really important to realize about the small businesses. And but small businesses are the heart of America. If you look at it, I think one study says that small businesses generate about 440 billion, with a B, Dr. Jack, with a B. And I think it's very important to understand that. And so I want to talk a little bit some of the challenges that small businesses face. Dr. Jack, I'm going to give you the top 10 challenges for small businesses.
Do it. I want to hear them.
Okay. Healthcare. Not having enough healthcare. Government regulations. You might say, how can government regulations actually hurt or hamper a small business? Well, back in March of 2020, there was a lockdown, and when the governments across the country locked businesses down, a lot of businesses went out of business. So government regulations. Just think about wearing masks, the 6 foot distance. Think of social distancing, how that impacts a restaurant. Oh, I've seen hotels. Myself and wife, we traveled a little bit. I've seen how they've been impacted. Paying federal income tax. Everyone should pay their fair share, but income tax hurt small businesses too in terms of when they have that. The economy, no question about it. Tax compliance. A lot of us have to submit something quarterly. Cash flow. Not having enough money to pay payroll. That happens to a lot of businesses. Staying passionate about your business because you're dealing with the day-to-day operations. You got Joe Samhead, who's a very difficult employee, but you need him because other people not showing up for work. So those are some things. Not diversifying your tax base and not knowing how to grow and just hiring employees. Dr. Jack, that's just a few things. Dr. Jack, what do you say about the small business? How you classify them and other characteristics on small business? What do you think?
Well, small businesses as you say, are the financial engine stimulating the U.S. economy. There are more small uh, business employees than there are those working for large companies. They've got usually, we're the reason we focused on this because we feel like small businesses need the help. They need the resources. They need someone talking to them about, what they can and can't do, and suggestions about what maybe the strategies that they have to be more innovative than their counterparts, because they have smaller budgets and smaller abilities, and they can't always, farm something out or hire it in, or pass it off and delegate it to someone else. The owner oftentimes has to be the marketer. The owner has to be the human resource person or the tax man. So we're focusing on those businesses with less than 500 employees in the U.S., and that's what the Small Business Administration categorizes it as. But we're looking at those who have not been successful, and a lot of businesses fail in the first few years.
Yes.
And we want to speak to those people. We want to speak to those who want to expand, and those who are trying to become more efficient and grow businesses. We want to speak to those folks that are thinking about starting businesses. So we feel like we're speaking to the heart of the U.S. economy, and those folks who may not have a formal education. They may not have the training or the time or the ability to go back to school and take classes to learn about marketing. So we're there at the forefront. We know how valuable small business is to the American economy, and like as you said, it's valuable to families today. They have to start a business to have a job, and to pay, to feed their families. So starting a business is important. Can anyone start a small business, Dr. Daryl? What do what are some of the things you look at
So finish it, Dr. Jack. I was just getting nervous when you asked me the question. So finish it there, Dr. Jack. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
starting, a lot of people think about starting business. Well, do I have to have a degree? Do I have to have a lot of money? What are the things I need to be successful in starting a small business? What are things that we need people to think about?
So I think it's a great question. I would say I would go internal first before I go outside. I think the internal things, you gotta be driven. I mean, you gotta be driven. You gotta be persistent, because a lot of times you have people tell you no, and if you're one of those people that's very frail and don't and kind of insecure, and you're not used to being turned down, then probably being a small business is not for you. The other thing is you have to have passion. You got to believe about what you're doing. You got to believe that it is
Mm-hmm.
something that is destined to happen, even after failures. So those are some of the internal things. I think if you don't know how to plan, there's another thing. Let's talk about business. If you don't know how to count money, you don't know how to count money, and you don't know how to organize. You can. That's okay, but you need to be aligned with somebody that has that skill set. So being able to understand so many terrible stories have been noted and stated by people that didn't understand how to manage money. I mean, there's been nightmares. People have been made multi-millions have lost it because they did not understand how to do that. So that's a serious skill that either you gotta have, or you gotta have somebody around you that have it. The other one is being organized. It's nothing like not knowing where your receipts are, not knowing what employee goes where. And those are the things I think are important internally. But I think if you have a lot of passion, you still got to have some resources. At the end of the day, you need a lot of energy, because the energy will take you far. It will when you don't have the resources. But at the end of the day, you got to have some resources. So you either got to borrow some money, save up, use your savings, whatever you need to do. You have to figure that out. That takes the part that most people don't have. They have the planning ability. You don't have to actually have it yourself, but you need to be surrounded by people that understand how to plan. What do you think, Dr. Jack?
Yeah, definitely. uh, as a person, becoming interested in in business and wanting to start something, you really do need to look at yourself in the mirror and analyze your strengths and weaknesses. Do a SWOT analysis of yourself. Like you say, look at your resources. Talk to bankers. What do they expect? How do you borrow money? And maybe you go to your local small business administration representative. They're there, very close by. Look it up online. Find out, how you access help from those retired executives. They've got business experiences and they've got all kinds of different resources that are available. Find them online. Go visit someone and talk to them face to face. Go interview, somebody that's in business. Learn from them. Talk to somebody in your family. But those are some of the things you want to do. Learn and just gather information to see and analyze what your objectives and goals might be. That's a starting, it's a good starting point to gather information, and then build a business plan. And then of course, we'll be talking about a marketing plan, but of course with small business, if you're starting from scratch, you're going to build a business plan, and your banker can assist with that, and also the small business administration can assist those who want to start a small business. Dr. Green, is that?
Yeah, one of the things that when you just said that, I just thought about something. I think what a lot of small businesses mess up, where it's not understanding their customer, and that's really what
Oh,
marketing
yes.
is.
Yes,
So
sir.
you go because at your church, everyone loves your sweet potato pie. I guess that's a southern thing maybe, but sweet potato pie or a pumpkin pie, and you decide, you know what, everybody likes that. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to make it, and you did not find out what is the price point. So you charge them $60 for your pie, and you only got your grandkids and maybe and maybe some other people from the church buying it. So I think really understand. I think what most businesses fail really, intimately understand your customers. Who are your customers? Why do they? And ask those questions. Why are you buying from me? And I think that is really a tragic mistake. I've seen so many companies. They say stuff like, Dr. Jack, you know they're kind of crazy when they say, I say, who is your customer? They say everyone is our customer, and when you serve all, you really serve none. I mean,
True.
there are very few companies can do that. Amazon can probably pull it off, and so could a Walmart's. But Joe Blow down the street, I don't think so. I think we have to be very focused, and that is really what I think is missing. Let's focus on that customer. Let's get to know who the customer is, and really to know, do I have enough of those people that are interested in buying my product or service to make it make it worth my while. Some people, believe it or not, they're working for free
Sure.
because they have not done that homework, and that's really critical. Dr. Jack, what do you think about that?
Oh, there's no question. Businesses have to analyze and understand who their customers are, who they are planning to sell to, and who, what do they want, what do they expect. Talk to those customers. Do some do some communication efforts with them. We talk about focus groups and segmentation and all that sort of thing. But ultimately, what that boils down to is understanding and profiling who your customers might be or who they are now, and then what kind of what are they looking for? Why are they buying a product similar to yours, or why might they buy yours? And trying to deliver and really wow the customer. It's not so much about delivering or satisfying the customer at a price point, or with a product. We've got to really deliver that value, don't we? We've got to deliver beyond satisfaction. And we talk, I mean, that's where we're at. And the only way you can deliver, wow to a customer is when you understand who they are and what they're looking for, and satisfying their needs and wants. When we get that, when we're able to do that as marketers and small business people, then we're probably going to make a little bit of money, and we can differentiate ourselves from our competitors and deliver what our customers are looking for, and be listening God gave us two ears and one mouth, and if we're listening to those who are our customers, then we can change and adjust and adapt. Because as we know, customers are going to change, and the basics there is be adaptable, be ready to make changes to product packaging, to pricing, to where you're selling your products. It might be online, it might be at the local retail store, um, but you've got to adapt and adjust and make sure you're ultimately satisfying those customers. So,
Okay. Agree.
that's our um, that's kind of leads us to this customer satisfaction and customer value piece that we're always, that's probably a real point with, Kotler and Keller, the authors of Marketing Management. They talk a lot about that, trying to build that customer value. And so I believe that we're going to build customer value in our book and through these conversations for our audience, and for those who might be interested in this book, and also for our listening to our conversations about this book in the future. So what do you think, Dr. Green? Are you?
So you got my interest, man. I mean, you got me fired up, man. We started talking about value because most
Yes.
people don't understand that. How do you create value throughout the whole process, from the very raw materials to the retailer handling the customer product and service? So I think that is magical. And I was just thinking, man. I am working on with my students. We're working on a bike simulation. Shout out to Marketplace Live in
Yes, of
University of
course.
Tennessee.
Yep.
So, but we talk about features, and so a lot of times sellers focus on features. You got a automobile, and you building all these features, and you got a salesperson. You're talking about all these features. You got bucket seats, you got leather, you got all those, wheels, wheelbase, and all this other stuff, and a bow system. But people really buy for benefits, and really, how is that going to benefit me? If I'm a parent, I'm looking at what is the safety record of that vehicle. And so I think we need to understand the value, selling the value of our product or service. What is the goodwill that's going to come once they get the product? And if you can't answer that, if it can't be clear, what value are you making in the marketplace, then I don't believe, Dr. Jack, I don't believe you can be successful without not understanding what your value that you're offering into your product or service. What do you think about that?
I think that's a critical key, because customers are looking for those things that benefit them. How is this product going to satisfy my need?
Yeah.
How is it going to give me something that's going to help me, better my family, or better me, and give benefit to what I'm trying to accomplish. They're going to be loyal to us as small businesses and marketers if we can deliver the value and deliver the benefits that our customers are looking for, and deliver it in a customer delight sort of way, beyond just the satisfaction piece. So no question, we've got to find out what customers want in terms of benefits, because most of us operate under limited incomes, and we've got various constraints and influences that drive consumer behavior and purchasing. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it's about delivering that value and delivering those benefits that customers need.
Yeah. I kind of just thought about, you said the word wow. How do you create wow? It's just so many products on the marketplace that you got to be, customers have seen it all. I mean, they're
Yes.
watching the Super Bowl and seeing all those commercials that's on there that's funny. But how do you create wow? Wow? I think that is a lot difficult. I think if I understand my customer, I'm intimate with my customers, I can meet their needs. And wow, yeah, maybe I don't give them wow, like wow, but
Right.
maybe I get them like, what, you just hit it, you're very
Yes.
connected to me. And maybe that's really what I need to be looking for, instead of just making that one hit. Maybe I need to focus on uh, the long tail of the process in trying to be successful. So I think wow, I think that's just a challenge. I mean, we've seen so much. I mean, there's the Bible says there's nothing new under the sun. And just I think you just for me, you just got to be intimate. You got to be intimate and really connected to your customers to understand really what they want and really try to be timed. I think that's really kind of key as we move to the 21st. Move to 2021.
Yeah, customers are going to be loyal to us if we develop those relationships, and we're trustworthy, and we provide consistency, and as you say, it's not that that wow, that huge hit.
Yeah,
It's being consistent, being honest, being trustworthy, being there.
yeah,
Products are on the shelf, products are delivered in the way you ask them to be delivered, and you're satisfied when you get it home and you open it up and it works the way you want it to, and there's good customer service to support it. So it's the basics of business. People want things that work for them.
and kind of piggyback on what you're saying. I think it's going to be very. I think as the economy continues to struggle along, I think it's you can compete on several elements. I just think price is not a good one to compete on. I think right
Yeah,
now, because do you really want to be the cheapest? I mean, what I'm saying is, I mean, you got that. I mean, the economy of scale. You got over abroad. You got people that are able to, for whatever reason, the regulations are different. They're able to make their products very, very cheap. It's very difficult for me in America to try to emulate that. I can't. That model to me doesn't work for me because I have a certain standard of living I got to try to maintain. So I do need to focus on. That's why I say I need to figure out, with all the competition that's out there, how am I connecting to my customers? I'm building loyalty because they say, you know what, this product is not the cheapest, but it's the most connected to me, and that's where I really want to be. I don't want to be the cheapest person because I don't think I can win with so many products on the market. I don't think I can beat that. But I think I could say this guy's connected to me. He understands me. He's tailoring my needs, and that's really why I think the small business as we move pivot to the future. I think they need to be able to give tailor products and be connected to that particular client or customers.
customer has a benefit in mind,
Yeah.
and if we satisfy that benefit at a reasonable cost and deliver
Hmm.
value
Hmm.
to the product, not necessarily at the cheapest price, but
Hmm.
delivering value in the expected way that customers want it. Okay. All right. So I, I believe that'll conclude our first session in small business marketing. And what we'll hopefully, if you like what you've seen here, you'll join us for session 2, in which we're going to discuss the basic marketing concepts in the small business. Thank you.